Nintendo's fall lineup has taken shape. It's Mario 3D All-Stars, Pikmin 3 Deluxe, and Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, with a little bit of love maybe tossed in for Bravely Default 2 in December, if that is to be. But now you know where your monies may or may not go. So sales are even more scrumptious because you have an allotment for what you're going to get on your Switch. And so today we're bringing you a bunch of lowest price ever eShop sales, some great deals from big third-party supporters of this system, as well as some nice indies that are really recommendable. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Make sure to smash that like button if you like getting your Switch games cheap, and let me know in the comments which ones you're targeting, which you'd recommend to a friend, and which ones you'd stay away from. Before we head to the digital side, we're going to go physical for a quick moment. Amazon has the Mortal Kombat 11 Aftermath Collection. This is the package that includes the original Mortal Kombat 11 game, the combat packs, and of course the Aftermath giant story expansion and new characters. It's $34.99. That puts it at 42% off for a physical version, and you can grab it via Amazon Prime, which always feels nice. It was recently on sale on the eShop for a little bit cheaper, but if you like having the physical version, away you go. And this is just a fantastic way to play Mortal Kombat in its entirety, and if you are a collector and want to have it on your shelf, boom shakalaka. Let's move to the eShop and go to one of my favorite cozy co-op games, Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. $7.49, that's 50% off till September the 15th, lowest price ever. In this title, you're managing a very mechanical ship with all sorts of rooms, levers, and buttons to press and pull. You've got to steer the ship, you've got to shoot the enemies, and you have to make sure everything runs a-okay. It is so fun to play with a significant other or a sibling, 1 to 4 player couch co-op. And you can kind of be a coach as well if you want to lead the ship and be your own commander, your own captain. Every ship needs, right, a little person who's in charge, and these little guys have to run around and manage the different aspects of the ship. It's a lot of fun. It gets a little stressful, but never all out crazy. I would say this game is a little bit less chaotic than something like Overcooked. It never presses into that yelling at each other territory, but it's still a lot of fun and requires excellent teamwork, a really beautiful world, and a lot of really smart gameplay decisions. Short levels so you can get in and get out. It's great fun, and at this price point, it's a must-buy. Half the price of a movie ticket, and you're going to have way more fun than you will wearing your masks and trying to enjoy a mediocre film. Next up, we've got Relic Hunter Zero Remix for $9.74, 25% off till September 22nd, lowest price ever, and that's going to go for every game for the rest of the video. I bring you guys the best sales and only the best. Relic Hunter Zero Remix is a roguelite. It reminds me of Nuclear Throne in a way. There are multiple different characters you can be, have their own unique skill set and weaponry, and then you are going to try to survive as long as you possibly can, twin stick shooter style. There's also couch co-op if you want to play with a friend. There are different mini bosses, different big bosses, all sorts of achievements, and different modes that you can play as well. A classic adventure mode which has 12 predefined levels, and then an endless mode that is much more in the roguelite fashion. I like this one, and I think it is a pretty good price at under $10. FURI, my friends, FURI is $6.99. That puts it at 65% off till September the 18th, the lowest price it's ever been. A boss rush challenge that actually looks pretty good and does a nice job of delivering some excellent gameplay. Now, the graphical style is very, very wonderful and vibrant, and the boss battles are deadly and require quite a bit of skill. It's got some Dark Souls-ish to it, but it's also like faster paced and kind of like dual stick elements, and it's all about the boss rush. So you're not going to get like a world-class experience here, and it is rated mature because of its strong language and violence, so note that. But at $6.99, like, this is a great boss rush game, and it's going to get you through a weekend absolutely having a lot of fun. The Complex is an FMV adventure. Not many of them these days, but sometimes they're really quirky and fun. This one's $10.39. That puts it at 20% off till September 24th. And in this one, there is a bioweapon attack on London, and 2 scientists have to try and save the day. It's a choose-your-own-adventure style of gameplay. Your actions, your relationships all matter, up to 8 different endings that you can experience, and of course, really kind of corny / quirky FMV videos. You are controlling real actors, if you will, in a very unique style of game that hit Switch earlier this year and got pretty good reviews. Again, nothing too win awards, but a fun time for a weekend at $10? Absolutely. We've got Crypt of the Necrodancer Nintendo Switch Edition. This is not Cadence of Hyrule, no Link or Zelda here, but it's the original game for $3.99, 80% off till September the 30th. It is rhythm-based dungeon diving, roguelike action, and you will get in the groove. Head bobbing and headphones both feel required for this one, and they're inevitable because the music is so darn stellar, and it's so fun to see how far you can progress. It's one of those games that you learn and grow and improve each run you play, and I find that so satisfying to get, 5 minutes into a run, and then 7 minutes, and then 11, and then a 24-minute run, and then you've learned so many different skills and so many different quirks, and you can put those together to build your best run. Yet there's also local co-op in this one if you do want to play with a friend, although I find the Necrodancer games more enjoyable by myself because I can get in on that headphone rhythm, kind of just in that groove, and I really enjoy it. Randomly generated dungeons keep things fresh, and it's a really unique system where you're bouncing and moving and bopping enemies to the beat. I love this a lot, and then you can always grab the Zelda edition if you're a big fan. They've been putting out DLC recently, quite a lot of it. Let's go Capcom. Capcom, who hates us showing their trailers? I don't know why. I like to promote Capcom games. I think they do a great job supporting the system, and it sounds like they're bringing a new Monster Hunter to the Switch soon, which I'm really excited for. After how much I love the direction that World took, we'll have to see if it's a story sequel or if it goes traditional Nintendo handheld Monster Hunter or more like World, but alas, they don't like us showing trailers. So enjoy these screenshots of Resident Evil Revelations, $7.99, 60% off till September 23rd, lowest it's been. This is episodic Resident Evil, taking place between Resident Evil 4 and 5. I think it's a fun game. I remember playing it on 3DS, but now you can play on Switch with better graphics, and it's pretty good tried and true Resident Evil gameplay. In fact, when this came out, some people said, like, hey, this is doing a better job than the mainline series, so do note that, as I take you to Resident Evil 4 for $15, 25% off till September 23rd. At $20, these games are a bit pricey. $15, I think it's totally fair. One of the most fun and engaging and memorable Resident Evils, although the controls, if you haven't played RE4 in a long time, do feel decently antiquated. If you want to go back and experience the nostalgia, go for it. But if you're looking for a quick controlling new title, this isn't for you. But it does play well on Switch and hold up the experience and the classic gameplay of RE4. They are supposedly remaking RE4, which will be really interesting and probably very divisive, but we'll have to wait at least a year for that one. You've also got Resident Evil 5 and 6, both for $15, both 25% off, both lowest price ever, both till September 23rd. I think 5 is a pretty good game, but again, it does feel old by today's standards. You can play this one cooperatively, and then Resident Evil 6 is a weird one with multiple different storylines. They tried to go like horror, action, and a little bit in between. There is co-op as well. I don't like Resident Evil 6 that much, but I did want to point out that they're all on sale. Let's go back to the eShop and back to trailers. We got Unexplored for $4.49 Unlocked Edition. This game comes in at 70% off till September 23rd, lowest price ever. It is a dungeon crawling roguelite that does veer more towards roguelike, meaning it's going to be a little bit more hardcore, a little bit more challenging, a little bit more RPG-ish, but it's got really nice art style, and it has been lauded for its lovely dynamic level design. They happen procedurally as you go. No two runs are ever the same, but they look so good. It's got very fancy art, very simplistic art, but ones that end up looking really, really nice. The UI is a charmer. The enemies are cute, but you got to kill them. And there are 7 different character classes to unlock and master, as well as an adaptive soundtrack that complements the action as you play. I have not gotten into this one myself, but at $4.49, I might dip my toes in these waters. Morphies Law. I never would recommend this game at full price. It was kind of a disaster. I was surprised that it was even featured in a Nintendo Direct. But at $3.99, down 80% off until October 1st, it's the lowest it's ever been. And at $4, with the updates they have put in place, you can probably have fun. If you don't know what Morphies Law is, it is a shooter, a third-person shooter, where you grow and shrink as you play based on how you're doing. You steal mass, you steal size from other players, which is a really unique and quirky idea. It just did not come together well, especially at launch. Since then, they've improved the game a bit, and I still don't think it is great by any stretch. But if you're looking for something weird and you're looking for something different, I do like the setting and I do like the idea. And at $4, it's a lot more of a low-risk investment than at $20, and so I wanted to point it out. KOLAT is down to $11.24. That's 25% off till September the 17th, the lowest it's ever been. This one is a moody, dark adventure. As you experience true events, or inspired by true events, from the Dyatov Pass incident. 9 Russian hikers mysteriously died, and you have to go and figure out what happened in the Ural Mountains. It's very, very atmospheric. It's got a very dark vibe. It's kind of like a walking simulator, but there is more of an open world to it. It is Unreal Engine 4. It's a 4 to 6 hour title. It looks pretty darn good, but it's not anything like, again, this kind of feels like the name of the game. Nothing like super special, but it is fun, and you could find something to enjoy here, especially for $11.24. A couple hours of good goosebump gameplay, and if you like to hike amongst the snow and try to see what happened to those that fell before, it is narrated by Sean Bean, which is pretty cool, and it is going to chill you out because of the snow and because it's spooky. Now, we've got a lot of Bandai Namco sales, really good ones too. Unfortunately, they don't like us showing trailers either. I am so excited for Little Nightmares 2. I think they have some of the best third-party support on Switch, and they just don't like people showing their trailers on YouTube. I don't understand. It's like it's free promotion for your games, dudes. I want to talk good about them, and you don't want me to. But Mr. Driller DRILLAND is $22.49. That puts it at 25% off. This game came out earlier this year, this summer, in fact, and it is Mr. Driller styled gameplay, diving down beneath the colorful cubes and facing off against some formidable foes. A lot of people enjoy Mr. Driller. It's not really for me, but I wanted to point this one out just because it is the lowest price it's been, and the game looks good with its HD graphics and its multiple multiplayer modes, as well as its lower price point. But what I love is Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition for $15. The lowest has been 70% off till September 22nd. We reviewed this one early on in the Switch life cycle, or I guess not that early. It came out early in 2019. Gosh, that feels so long ago at this point, but it's really not all that far off. Fantastic game. I love the Tales franchise, especially in the Symphonia Vesperia era. It looks really good on Switch. It's got all the DLC. And $15, you're getting so many good hours of gameplay. Action RPG, action gameplay. If you don't know Tales, it's very fast-paced, and you're controlling the action. The characters directly executing the special attacks and the basic attacks, and building out your party. You can kind of issue them commands or take control. Very, very good game. Very pretty graphics. This one initially debuted as an Xbox 360 exclusive. Now you can play it on Switch for $15. Kind of a must-buy. Little Nightmares, though, is the true must-buy of the day. The complete edition is $7.49. That puts it at 75% off. Oh my goodness, I love this game. I cannot wait for Little Nightmares 2. I'm so pumped for that one. One of my most anticipated Switch titles of 2021. Looks so freaking good, but this is the original adventure, and it's phenomenal. Set aboard a spooky ship. It's got all the Halloween vibes you need. If you want a game that's going to really get you in the moody atmosphere of the season as we approach October, grab Little Nightmares. One of the best indie games of the last decade. I said it. It's phenomenal. It doesn't get as much love as games like Limbo or Inside, but it's just as good and maybe even better as you run away from creepy Muppets with all sorts of strange appendages and smushed, drooping faces. Yes, it is creepy. The ending is really intense, and I love how hands-on and tactile the gameplay is as you climb amongst the ship and try to survive as Six and the kid. All right, we've got KATAMARI DAMACY re-rolled down to $9.89. Haven't seen this one on sale this much. It's 67% off till September 22nd. You know Katamari. Roll the ball, collect the stuff, complete quirky challenges, and they put it on Switch in HD. You can use the Joy-Con or gyro controls, or you can use just the normal controls, and it's a pretty fun time. Not my favorite series from Bandai, but one that needs to be talked about. Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm Trilogy is $19.99, down from $40. That puts it at 50% off till September 22nd. A bunch of Naruto fighting games. These games are better than they probably should be, and if you're a fan of the anime or just a fan of this kind of a fighting game in general, it's a lot of content. $20 for 3 games, all the DLC, all the extra missions. There is some single-player content here. Of course, it is a multiplayer-focused title, and they're pretty fun. I remember enjoying them back in my middle school / high school days. God Eater 3 is an action RPG with lots of really good combat, and it's pretty darn, well, less RPG, more action, I guess, than some of the other games we're talking about today, but it's pretty darn fun. $19.79. That puts it at a whopping 67% off till September 22nd. There is a demo, so you can give it a go if you want to try it out before you drop the $20. This one came out with really good reviews. Again, not my favorite type of game. There's a lot of story, a lot of dialogue, a lot of patience required here, but it is a pretty fun game, and you can play with a friend via local play. I don't know that it has true online play. I believe it is local communication online. Like, you have to be in the same room. Character customization, quick combat, and pretty graphics that we got going on in God Eater 3. We also have Dragon Ball FIGHTERZ the best DBZ fighting game ever? I think so. $9.59. That's 84% off till September 22nd. Gabe and I used to battle out in this game. Lots of DLC, cool characters that have been added since. They're getting ready to debut Master Roshi, so get in on it now for sub $10. It's super fun. It's stylistic as all heck. It's got great graphical representation of the franchise and the fighters, and the gameplay is really, really intense. It reminds me a lot of more of like the Marvel vs. Capcom style games than it does the old DBZ games, and that is a good thing. 3v3 tag team battles with your favorite fighters from one of my favorite shows when I was in high school. And it's got a story mode, and it's got, like I said, a bunch of DLC characters if you want to add on. They're all on sale as well, and the game is a great value at $9.59. Last but not least, we've got Rad, which was a partnership between Bandai and Double Fine. I don't think this is one of Double Fine's better works, and I love what they've done with games like Costume Quest, Stacking, and of course, Psychonauts. But Rad is a bit of a weird one. It's got this strange like 80s vibe, very like punky, you know, a lot of like the color palette is reminiscent of that, and you can acquire these powers because of radioactive monsters and then change what your character can do. I never thought it controlled all that well, but it's $7.99. That puts it at 60% off from the traditional $20, and I think it might be fun at $8. Double Fine does good work. It's got a quirky charm to it, and you will be exploring this toxic world and trying to acquire all the different upgrades, all the different transformations for your character. And, you know, it's not my favorite indie game, but it's one that has not been on sale recently, and so I wanted to point it out. Now, in terms of my recommendations for today, I gotta go with Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. It's a fantastic couch co-op game for you and just about anybody. It is low-key enough to be enjoyed by your grandma or your girlfriend, and it is high-key enough to really create some interesting moments of chaos, but never too far. It's just, it hits the sweet spot. I love it a lot. I also love FURI as a boss rush title for $7. I think that's really good. Crypt at $4 is fantastic. I think Resident Evil Revelations is one you might want to get in on $8. It's not typically recommended. Usually we talk about the mainline franchise, but Revelations is solid. And then, of course, I love me Little Nightmares so much. The sequel is coming out. If you haven't experienced the first complete edition, you got to grab it at $7.49. And then Dragon Ball FighterZ, fantastic value, along with Tales of Vesperia Definitive at $15. That's going to give you a lot of gameplay and last you throughout the next couple months if you pace yourself appropriately. Let me know what you guys think, though, in the comments down below. Which games are you targeting? Which ones do you want to pick up? Which ones do you think you should stay away from? Let me know down in that comment section. Smash that like button if you guys enjoy getting Switch games cheap. I'll see you guys at the next sale when we collect more games at their lowest price ever. For now, though, have a fantastic day, everybody. I love you a lot. Make sure to stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart out there, and until next time, SwitchForce out.